Luffing and puffing there, lad. You know. Yeah, this is my prediction for the Decca Heggie Dean Lynch Ward fight. Obviously bare knuckle. They say there's going to be a winner. They say there's no draws. But I've got to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a draw. I mean, money's on Decca Heggie. Not that it's the sort of fight that you can't go into the bookies and put a bet on this sort of stuff, can you? But if I could, I'd be betting on Decca. But I couldn't rule out a draw. I can't see any way that Decca ain't going to get the best of this. I can't see Dean winning, unfortunately, for him. I just got Decca as being too big. Although I don't think I had Decca in my head to be like 6'3", 6'4", but apparently he's not. Apparently he's only like 5'10", 5'11", something like that. But I don't think Dean's any bigger. I still think he's probably, I don't know exactly how tall Dean is, but I think he's still got the height and the reach on Dean. He's certainly a naturally bigger set man than Dean. And for what I can see on the video here with Dean, he's blowing. He's blowing here on this training video. I don't know exactly how recent this is. I think it's pretty recent. Looks like he's carrying a bit of weight up the front. Which again, if you're giving away weight to a guy like Decca, which he obviously is going to be doing, Decca's in shape, or he seems to be in shape, obviously posting about doing all his training and stuff. Maybe not necessarily a terrible thing to be carrying a little, to be bringing your weight up a bit to try and match it with him, but when there's no round, and when it's fight to the finish, I can't see him not, I mean he's blowing here, I can't see him not blowing, not struggling badly with his stamina here. That being said, if the opportunity came to sort of quash it and somebody's hand came out, I wouldn't rule out personally. I wouldn't be incredibly surprised if they were to shake hands and call it a draw. I can't see any way that Decca ain't getting the best of it though, to be honest. But if I had to bet, I'd say Decca's going to win. But I wouldn't be surprised with a draw no matter what they say. Regarding who I want to win, I'm not really, well, not too bothered really. I mean, they say all sorts of stuff about both of these guys online, Decca in particular, but there's also people say stuff about Dean as well. But who knows what the truth is? I don't know what the truth is. I hope the stuff that I hear isn't true. I don't know for a fact that it is. Is that you done, Dean, all lad, is it? Fucking hell. Is that it then? Done for today, yeah? Fuck me, 2 minutes, done. He must have done more than that, surely. That just must have been a little bit of a snippet or something. The fact that it isn't, so you know, gotta give them the benefit of the doubt until it's proven otherwise. But I don't know, I just want to see a good fight. But like I say, wouldn't be surprised if it's a draw. Fuck me, he's doing well to understand what the fuck this guy's saying. 10 points for anyone who knows what the fuck he's on about. But I can't see Dean beating Decca, unfortunately for him. But my money would be on Decca Heggie. With regards to it being bare knuckle, I mean, I don't know what Dean's bare knuckle credentials are. I've not seen any bare knuckle fights that he's had. Apparently, you know, he's had street fights and stuff before, but you know, better than nothing experience wise, but it's not exactly the same as this with a fair play man and what have you. And rules of a certain kind anyway. There's no doubting that Decca's got more experience. I think they're about the same age. I think Decca's got the weight, physical advantage, seems to be fitter as well. Certainly got the experience, like I said, in terms of the bare knuckle. If it came down to a boxing match, I mean, apparently Dean's, you know, got pretty good boxing skills, particularly in his younger day, was maybe a bit of a prospect on the amateur circuit from what they say. I don't know exactly how true it all is or whatever, but if it was a boxing match, maybe a pure boxing match with rounds, maybe it would be a different story. But in fact, it probably would be a different story for my money, but it's a bare knuckle fight with no rounds, and Decca's just definitely got the experience with that, hasn't he? And he's coupled with the fact that I just don't see any advantages that Dean has. He's not a lot. I don't know exactly how old they both are. I believe Decca's in his late 30s, I think Dean's in his late 30s, so they're both a similar age. There's no age advantage. It's not like one's 21 and one's 45, you know what I mean, where there's a clear age advantage. So there's no advantage for Dean there. There's an advantage for Decca in terms of the experience, as we said, we can't deny that. There's also an advantage for Decca in terms of the physical size. Again, don't have the exact measurements, and Decca is actually smaller than I thought, but for me, I mean, I've never actually seen them stood, you know, side by side or nose to nose to size them both up, but for me, Decca's looks in better shape. he's naturally the bigger guy. He's, you know, he's been training for longer, more experience. I just can't see any advantages that Dean has here, particularly with it being bare knuckle. But let's hope we see a good fight. But to be honest, I can't see that it is going to be an incredibly good fight, because I just don't think it's going to be very competitive. And if it is going to be very competitive, I just don't see that it's going to be competitive for very long, because of what I've said, because of the experience and the size advantage in Decca's favour, and the fact that Dean doesn't look very, and he's a lot less experienced, and he doesn't look in very good shape. Just can't see that he's going to be competitive for very long in terms of time. I just don't think he'll have the stamina for it. But hopefully it'll surprise me. It'll be more competitive, more entertaining, and they'll both get out of it what they can't both get what they want out of it, but you know, at least it'll put whatever it is to bed, and hopefully they'll be able to move on and stuff like that. Because the last one that Decca had, they haven't really moved on, have they? That fight with the other fella, Danny Christie, they seem to still be slagging each other off. I know they shook hands at the time, got a draw or whatever, but it doesn't seem to have settled. It's certainly not long term anyway, so hopefully this one can be settled long term. They can both put up a good fight and entertain everybody, make some money, or donate it to charity or whatever they're doing. Just let it be successful, and yeah, let everybody give their best, and let nobody be embarrassed or anything like that. But my money's going to be on Decca Heggie. I wouldn't be too surprised if it was a draw, even though they say there isn't going to be draws. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not an handshake though, but I just can't see it. I certainly can't see Decca losing. I can't see Dean getting the bet, even with a draw. Even if it was to be a draw, probably not. My money's on Decca to win, but even if it was to be a draw, which isn't completely off the table to me, I still think Decca would come away looking like, you know, he got the better of it. You obviously with Dean, you're only seeing the clips, and with Decca, you're only seeing the clips that they want you to see, probably. But prove he's what you don't see. As much as Decca ain't Sugar Ray Leonard, obviously he's not, but at least he's got a man with him, you know what I mean? At least he's got someone trying to train him. You don't see that with Dean. He's just there shadow boxing, or he's on the bag or whatever, but anybody giving him any instructions, running drills with him or anything like that. But maybe there is, I hope there is. There may well be. I know I've seen him photographed with Jamie Moore and that, but whether that was just a photo, I don't know. Whether he's actually doing any work with Jamie or anyone else for that matter, but he needs to be. As much as he is the superior boxer, he's still, you know, nobody's perfect. You can always improve, get a little bit of fitness up with a bit of training that we've seen, but he needs to be actively trying to improve. Because I just feel like with Decca, he can improve his boxing, you know. He can improve his boxing between the time the fight got called on and Sunday when the fight happened. He can't really improve as a bare knuckle fighter between the time the fight gets called on and Sunday when the fight is. You can only really improve with the bare knuckle stuff. I mean, I suppose there's certain training you can do, but you can improve a little bit. But the boxing technique, you can improve it so much easier with just technique drills like what Decca's doing. Okay, it's not a very sophisticated one, but improve at his boxing a hell of a lot more in Decca compared to how much Dean can improve on bare knuckle fighting, bare knuckle boxing between now and the fight. Because you just got to be in there, you know what I mean? You've just got to. It's technical, but it's not as technical as Queensbury boxing. You know, with the gloved, with the rounds, with the official sanctioned ref, with all the rules and regulations and all the timings and for scoring points with judges and stuff like that. But yeah, the room for just another thing that's not in Dean's favour. I think Decca, to be honest, my money would be Decca. My money would have been on Decca beating him from the start anyway. But the things that Decca can improve on, I feel like he's got far more opportunity. And he's far more able to improve on them, i.e. his boxing skills, between now and the fight, than Dean is able to improve on his stuff that may be a weakness. He's not as experienced as a bare knuckle fighter, and the only way you get better, really, well, not the only way, but you know, there's far more technique involved with traditional boxing than there is with bare knuckle boxing. It's more about seasoning and experience, and you've just got to be in them fights, you know. He ain't going to be having any bare knuckle fights between now and then. I mean, obviously we're only 2 days away from the fight anyway, but he's just not sensible. You're not going to get yourself cut up, you're not going to damage your hands, you're not going to get, because that's all it only takes, one punch to knock you out in Queensbury boxing with the gloves on, let alone without gloves. And you know, you get knocked out, even a cut, anything, you know, he's not going to risk doing that. But yeah, it's just going to be so much here where he's just up on an uphill battle, as Dean there. But anyway, let's hope for a good fight.
Move. You let the cut people off so they can't do anything. That's what we do. And if cut people off this way,